2023 was a tough year for PR applicants in Canada, with the scores of general draws almost reaching to 550s. Just as IRCC started to release their bold new strategy of category-based draws in early 2024, everything seemed like on track, the scores coming down, and it felt like an year exciting with full of opportunities. But something major shifted, and when it did, it changed everything. With anti immigrant sentiment growing, the political tensions rising, and mounting pressures from Quebec, the landscape of Canadian immigration were soon to be changed forever. If you remember, the beginning of 2024 was something different and it practically changed a lot overnight. So today, we will dive into what actually happened in the year 2024, what were the expectations and where did things go, of course, and most importantly, what are the lessons we can take to better prepare ourselves for the year 2025 targets. Hi, I am Raj Patel, your go-to guide for Canadian immigration, and this is one of the videos of 2025 immigration series. If you are planning to get your PR in 2025, make sure to hit subscribe so that you can stay informed about anything going on in the immigration industry. At the beginning of 2024 fiscal year, which was 2023 November, IRCC released a quota as per which they were planning to invite more than 100,000 applicants through their federal express entry draws. They also shown a huge interest in keeping the category-based draws, meaning inviting people with STEM, healthcare, trades, and other related occupations, which gave a huge moral boost to the people who are not able to achieve more than 500 scores in the express entry pool. But one of the core definitions of category-based draws was that it did not care whether the applicant is in Canada or not. It only cared what category of occupation do they have, what is their primary occupation category. They quickly realized that IRCC was keeping the local talents on the back seat and focusing solely on the talents which matches the particular job market expectation from all around the world. And these in-demand talents were mostly consist of STEM, healthcare and trade occupations. As a result, the talents from other occupations, including people with management courses, were highly struggling. And as I talk to a lot of you outside these videos, I know that a lot of you even tried to change your occupation just to manage or maintain IRCC's expectation. Applicants matching one of the categories were happy that the scores will come down to below 500s for them and they will get their PR eventually. But things changed in the middle of the year when anti-immigrant sentiment started rising, government started getting pressure, no confidence votings, and many more things happened. With these domestic geopolitical pressure, IRCC quickly reacted, which worked in the favor of some applicants and it hurt some other applicants in the pool. You see that they had this quota planned for the year 2024. Clearly, category-based draws were expected higher than the general draws. And if you don't know, that happened, but in disguise. At the end of the year, when I started to look at the numbers, I realized that there was a sudden push towards the CEC draws, encouraging local temporary residents to be converted to permanent residents, and pretty much stopped the category-based draws, which was more focusing on the global pool. CEC draws helped people with higher scores above 500 to quickly get their ITAs, but the scores remained high as there were many people in the pool now with more than 500 scores. So what happened by the end of fiscal year 2024? Why the scores did not decrease? You see the quotas here carefully and the number of invites percentage breakdown here. IRCC pretty much matched the target it was hoping, but in its own way. Instead of focusing on STEM and healthcare specific draws, they allocated the quota to the CEC, and I have a strong feeling that most of the people invited under those CECs will be from STEM and healthcare. But we also see that there was a huge push towards completing the French draws. Why? Again, let's talk about what I consider the most controversial aspect of the year 2024, the French speaker advantage. And trust me, this isn't just about the language preference. Let me show you something interesting here. While the English-speaking candidates needed to score in 500s, literally above 500s, 510s and more, French speakers were getting invited with the scores as low as 430s. 440s, 450s. But here is the real question we need to ask. Was this really about the bilingualism or was it the political maneuvering? Again, my assumption is that most people in the pool might not have taken French language test and as a result they might not be eligible for the French draws. So Even if the government was doing a lot of CEC rounds, their French quotas internally might not get completed. And they had to do those specific targets for French draws to maintain or finish their quota by the end of 2024. And to achieve those targets, they released the draws for French speakers so many times in this year that it almost felt like it was unfair. Considering the pressure government had for bringing immigrants from outside the Canada, releasing so many specific French category based draws seemed so big, and maybe for unknown reasons. Of course, the pool size for French speakers was less, which created a huge unfair advantage for native French speakers and people who even learned French to get their permanent residency. But remember this, it would not help the labor market. I have requested more information about this specific draw from IRCC to understand what sort of occupation and what sort of people were invited, and will dissect the entire information for you guys to see whether it was worth it to bring these many French speakers through the economic immigration criteria or not. But anyways, coming back to the trends. If you see final breakdown of the year 2024, IRCC has not done anything dramatically different than what it has actually planned at the beginning of 2024. They were pretty much on target. What happened to those political pressure, the anti-immigrant sentiment, and the focus of reducing PR? As you know, if you'd have seen the quota already, 2025 is all about that. The quota is out now and I'm already working on the research for it, so I'll be breaking down all the information for 2025 in my upcoming videos. And if you're still watching this video, let me tell you about a strange part of the quota which IRCC always keeps in target but is hiding in the plain sight. And this could also be the reason of lower wage workforce in Canada, and you see the huge gap, or probably a moderate gap, of the talents not matching the market needs, and nothing can be done about it. Let's talk about war and refugees. Even though the number seems small in the larger scale, if you see, it's very close to the Federal Express Entry Draw invites, which means as many refugees as the Federal Express Entry Draw candidates. Now I'm sure I'm not considering PNP here, but still, think about it. It is controversial, so I'm not going to go deep into it. But for the people who are blaming the skilled temporary workers and international students who are coming here to study, you should know that if you want to correlate, you will find the equal number of candidates in the humanitarian quota as well. And that's all for today. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the 2024 quota and what you expect from 2025. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.